Welcome to Gate City Chronicles. I'm Kevin Avard, your host, and I have a very special guest today, Stacey Lacroix with
Hi.
the Jimmy Fund, and
Stacey
Geary with the
Home Health VNA.
Home Health VNA. Welcome to the show, and I'm honored that you chose to come on Gate City Chronicles.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
So, my first understanding about Stacey, you are a hero.
Yes, I'm being sponsored by the company FlexCon, which makes certain adhesives, and I will be on one of the billboards for the walk trail, and so...
The walk trail. Now, this is part of the marathon, the Boston Marathon Trail?
Yes.
Right.
It will be on the Boston Marathon Trail during the walk so that people will be able to persevere and keep walking because they will be able to look up and see the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have a mile marker, right?
Yes,
Do we
I
know
do.
where that mile marker is? Is it?
We're not sure where the mile marker is going to be placed yet. What mile will be, designated to Stacey yet? But she does have a poster on a mile.
And that's what designates you as a hero because you have that?
Yes.
And how did you get chosen for that?
Well, usually they just, there is a group of people who ask kids and their parents if they would like to be a hero and taking photos of for the billboard so that they could become a hero.
Okay.
And to
So they submitted
inspire
your picture and they...
people to raise money for the Jimmy Fund, because although we have several telethons, we don't get that much.
Right. So you're going to be walking the trail, correct?
Possibly. I'm going to try.
Depends on the day.
You're
right?
gonna do your best. Now, for our viewers, you have a particular condition, and that is called
Acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Or ALL for short.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you're going through chemotherapy, you're a patient
At the Jimmy Fund?
at the Jimmy
Yeah.
Fund, you are still going to try to trek this daunting, is it 27 miles or is it 21 miles?
26 point.
20,
It's the marathon route,
27
right? So,
rounded off.
yeah.
Round it off, right?
Yeah.
But
So you'll be going through the brownstone houses or the brown houses?
Yeah,
and-
it's the marathon route. So yeah, it's on September 9th. So and a lot of the kids do participate in it. They don't necessarily walk the 27 miles, but they walk when they can, or a lot of them, if they're not feeling great that day, they'll be at their mile marker, inspiring whatever team they've been partnered with to raise the funds for the Jimmy Fund.
So can people donate on your behalf or and become an additional sponsor?
Yeah, there's a spot on the website for the Jimmy Fund. If you go on the Jimmy Fund website, there is a link to the walk, and you can sponsor or send money in for the walk.
How long have you had this condition?
I was diagnosed as of June 2011. I can never forget the day. I was recently graduated from Nashua's Sunset Heights Middle School, or elementary school.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten out of graduation, and I felt weak. I was limping, and when you look at a cancer patient limp, it's not the same as when you have a blister on your foot or you sprained your ankle. It's this shattered limp, and it's very hard to describe, but
Bone pain is usually one of the
It's
first
very
symptoms for
saddening.
leukemia.
Bone pain.
Bone pain, yeah, because your bone marrow is being attacked, so, and it's
Now-
not working properly.
Are you going through chemo?
Yes, I am currently going through chemo, and
You're in the
but-
maintenance phase, right?
a little past maintenance. So,
Yeah.
Describe to me, what is the maintenance phase?
It's when we start to do cycles at home. They finish up their high-dose chemo, and they start to go, a lot of it, their stuff is done outpatient. And the Home Health VNA goes into their home and gives them some of their chemotherapy at home. They do go to clinic once every 3 weeks, and then we do 2 weeks of treatment at home. We do lab draws, and Stacey has a port implanted in her chest that we do labs and give chemo through, and yeah, she's a trooper.
Now
It's a
you're-
2-year protocol.
It's a
so
2-year
yeah,
protocol.
it's 2-year-long protocol.
Yeah.
So she's yeah.
So talk
she's
about a
doing great.
marathon. There
Yeah.
you go.
That is a marathon in itself.
yeah, it feels like forever.
Now
It
you're going to
does.
the Elm Street Middle School at this time.
Yes, and because of my intensive treatment, I wasn't able to go back to school to enter the 6th grade until March of 2011, I think.
2012, right?
2012.
So you had a long summer of schooling, I would assume.
I didn't get a tutor for quite some time, and so although I was behind, I did transition back a little bit.
And you're doing honors this
Better.
year, right? You entered, right?
Honor.
Yeah, she's doing
the honors
great. She's a
class.
smart girl.
What's your favorite topic in school?
Well, my 2 most favorite subjects are math and science because I want to be a doctor when I am older. At this point, it might change, but I would like to be a cardiologist, and unfortunately, but it's kind of a plus
Unfortunately, you're doing fine.
to have a disease that involves the bone marrow and blood cells overly reproducing,
Right.
causing the cancer to form.
Now you're a guitar player.
Yes, I do play the acoustic guitar. I was taking lessons right before I was diagnosed, and it kind of kills, sort of.
The fingers, right?
Yeah, when I have my treatment, and so I try sometimes, but I can't really get back.
What's your favorite music?
Um,
Don't say Justin Bieber, please. Is it Justin Bieber?
We love Justin Bieber. He's
Everybody
a
loves
great
Justin Bieber.
fella.
but generally, I have a very diverse music taste. I like anything from Lady Gaga to the Beatles.
That's diverse.
That is very
That's
diverse.
Beatles are good.
Yeah.
I like the Beatles.
Beatles are good.
Yeah.
So when is this event happening?
September 9th
September 9th. And where's the starting point? Is it at
in Hopkinton, I believe. Yes, it starts. It's exactly the same as the marathon route.
exactly? Oh,
Exactly the
interesting.
same. Yep.
So there's going to be big crowds, hopefully. And hopefully
Yes.
there'll be a lot of people there supporting.
Yeah.
Do you have a big crew coming with you?
I know that the 2 people that I have met from FlexCon will be walking, but I hope I have a pretty decent size of a group. But, it's really no laughing matter.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that the kids go through, you can just see it on their faces in clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of friends? Did you make a lot of friends while you were with
Yes.
Yeah.
All the kids that we all came in on the same month area from June, late June to early August of that year, 2011. I have a group of wonderful friends, and
A lot of your appointments fall on the same day, so you
Yeah.
tend to see the same faces a lot of the time. So you
the
do make lots of
majority of
friends.
us come on Wednesday all
You're in it
together.
together, and you encourage each other, I'm sure.
Yeah, and most of us either became friends through our parents just sharing tears in the little cafe room of that floor in Boston Children's, crying together, or at crazy times in the morning, like 1 a.m. or 6 a.m., because there's no way any child could sleep with that treatment, because we get allergic reactions that seem like we're burning with
Inside.
rash or anything, to intense pain, to rashes. We just can't sleep, and
There's a
we
lot
don't.
of support. There's a lot of support with the parents.
We really don't want to sleep because we're afraid sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the little ones are afraid.
Yeah.
But you're there to, you can encourage
They
some
don't
of the
really
little ones.
know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand. You know that when people see this, many people will be praying for you. And I hope that's an encouragement to you, because I know I will be. And that's my word.
Thank you.
And a lot of people will be praying for you. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of support. And I know you have a good, positive outlook, and that's going to help you.
Absolutely.
And, soon after, when I got home, I came home to letters from complete strangers sending me letters, "You're in our prayers," or they would send me a hat because I hadn't yet fully had a head of hair.
Right.
But I never really lost any because of French-Canadian descent, but that's a whole different thing.
You lost some hair. Your hair has come in a
Some.
lot. So her hair has come in a lot. She looks fantastic.
But for girls and boys alike, it's not that we're vain, it's just we're not used to not having hair, and it's scary.
Right.
It's painful, and you feel awkward, and you feel different, but it's not like when you feel different, like you're wearing a whole different outfit
Or your shirt's inside
that's
out.
yeah.
inside of, instead of what everyone else is wearing. It's like, it feels like you have a deformity.
Right.
And one of the hardest things is going back into school feeling that. And fortunate for me, I was welcome with warm hearts and understanding. But sometimes
It's still scary. It is. Because it changes you.
it's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
And you go back to school usually not remembering the course of things. And you're just used to intense treatment and pain and suffering and uncomfortable feelings. But then sometimes you get welcomed back with warm, fuzzy feelings. And I was lucky to have that. But
And the Jimmy Fund Clinic has lots of programs that support the kids through their treatment.
and
Right?
make
They have
sure
child
that
life specialists and all kinds of things that go on.
Tell me about your
Yeah.
role in this and how you're meeting the needs of the daily, how
Yeah,
often do you?
when Stacey got diagnosed in June, she went, when they first get diagnosed with leukemia, they go through an induction phase. So they usually hospitalize anywhere between 2 weeks to, it can be up to 2 months, to try to get them into remission. So they give them a lot of high dose chemotherapy to bring them into remission and get rid of all the cancer cells. And then they go through consolidation phases and maintenance phases finally that, you know, carry them through the 2 years. So when they first come out of the hospital, they send a referral to the VNA, which we're Home Health VNA. We're based out of Lawrence, but we cover a very wide geography. I work for the maternal child health program there. And we partner up with the Jimmy Fund and, you know, Tufts and Mass General, and we service the kids as outpatients. So we do a lot of their lab draws through their central lines. We do skilled assessments. We give chemotherapy in the home when it can be safely given in the home. You know, and we service Southern New Hampshire and the Seacoast area, and all the way we do the 128 belt up towards Wakefield and Peabody and Salem, and so it's big. Our maternal child health team has about 13 people on it, you know, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I got introduced to Stacey when she first came home. We got the referral and I came and I met her, and then we've been doing weekly blood draws for the past year.
Do you see her every day, or is it just weekly?
Usually weekly, maybe like 3 times a month, because one time she's in clinic. So
Yes.
yeah, so like every, yeah.
But before, rather than having it to be wonderful Miss Stacey over here, I had to go back and forth to Boston, which was extremely difficult for my mom and I. And we have to go start getting ready, you know, a good time before we're actually
It's
appointed.
A full day, not to mention the transportation and the cost of parking down there, food while you're there, and stuff like that. So, I mean, the Jimmy Fund Clinic has programs that help to offset a little bit of the cost, but it's much more cost effective for the insurance companies, and it's better for the families to be able to have the outpatient piece where we can be at home to do the lab draws and at home to give the chemo. And they do IV hydration too, so sometimes if the kids have chemotherapies that they need to have extra fluids for like 3 or 4 days afterwards, we do that in the home too, so they don't have to be inpatient getting that fluid. So. Yeah, it's much better to be able to spend time in your own bed and be with your mom, and So.
Speaking of mom, how's she doing?
Mom is recovering and kind of getting used to this, but as a parent, I don't think anyone could get used to knowing that their child has to go through all of this.
Yeah. You and Mom make a great team. They do. They make an incredible team. You do. You do. You just started giving your methotrexate, which is one of the drugs that they give, and most of the time the nurses give it. Sometimes we teach the parents to give it if we feel like they're a good team at home, and they just started doing that and taking the needle out of her port all by themselves. So they're super. They're a great team. Very supportive of each other. Yeah.
What would you like our viewers to know specifically? There's this event that's going on. You're the hero. You're going to be walking. You have this condition. You're still going to go forward. You want to bring attention to this, and you want to ask the people out there to contribute to the Jimmy Fund, to be supportive of it.
Yes. And most importantly, why I want them to support this is because we may be a main, we may be supported very strongly, but not as strongly as needed because, you know, we still don't have the funds to do research or to find about other child cancers. And I'm saying this not only because of the research, well, mainly because of the research, but who knows? I mean, that small handful of contributions could go towards
Breakthrough.
1,000 generations of children who had the opportunity to survive these now terminal diseases that create and do amazing things in the future. And those children have to suffer so much, not only just knowing the fact that they have a terminal disease, but the fact that they have to continue suffering till the end. And I would just like the viewers to know that if they donate any amount of money, it could be whatever you have in your pocket for, it doesn't matter the quantity, it just matters that if you care about the next generation, that you will just donate only a little.
A lot of people doing a little bit goes a long way.
Definitely.
Yes.
It definitely goes a long way. And if they did, this is one of the largest fundraisers for the Jimmy Fund, and most cancer drives and research is adult oriented. There's not a lot of money for children's cancers. So doing a Jimmy Fund fundraiser specifically for the Jimmy Fund itself goes directly to childhood cancer research programs through the Jimmy Fund. So this is really important. I mean, many years ago, leukemia was not as survivable as it is today, which is it's hugely survivable.
Like I said earlier, my nephew survived,
Yeah.
and he's 25 or 26
Yeah.
today, and so
Yeah, and every year that goes by and the research that's done makes it better for the next generation to come.
right.
Yeah.
How do people, if they want to contribute to the Jimmy Fund on behalf of you or help out in any way, directly to you or to Mom, or because Mom's still got her expenses,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Is there a website or is there an email or a contact that people could directly donate?
Yeah, to donate to the Jimmy Fund Walk, if you go to the Jimmy Fund website, you just have to use Google, or it's www.jimmyfund.org, or you could,
If you want to lend support to Mom here.
Yeah, if you want to lend support to Mom. Yeah.
How would they do that here locally?
Locally,
Your email, maybe?
they could go. Is it okay, Mom?
Mom's in the audience. That's fine. We can you can contact the station and we'll forward the
Excellent.
information at accessnashua@gmail.com, and we could definitely forward the information to Mom. And we're very proud of you, and we're going to be offering prayers for you and people good vibes and the whole 9 yards.
Definitely.
So welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on, and
Thank you.
best wishes. And I hope you make all 27 miles. I did 20 myself once. Ugh.
Invite her afterwards to come back and talk about it, okay?
Okay.
That was a little director's.
Yep. And after you go through this whole process, we would love to have you back and talk about your experience, about maybe if you can share some photos. We can probably put them on the show as well.
Sure.
And we'd love to have that if you'd be willing to come back on. Would you like to come back on?
I would.
Yeah.
I would like to help the Jimmy Fund as much as I can.
Perfect.
Even if it's just locally.
Oh, of course. Local, local helps.
It's
big time.
great.
And it helps that we're one of the most populated cities in New Hampshire.
There you go. Of course we are.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you very much for watching Gate City Chronicles. And again, if you want to help Stacey out, please, or the Jimmy Fund, contact them. directly, and you can also help us help the families if you want to email us at accessnashua@gmail.com. We'd be most excited to help and forward the information or contributions that you might send. So until next week, thank you for watching Gate City Chronicles, and God bless.